Hey everybody, Stu Smith here, going live, taking questions, just checking in. I usually do this on Tuesday, but have been crazy busy this month. Depending on the week, I was involved with a couple of new podcasts you guys may have seen, a new Two Through and After with a great lady Secret Service agent who is an awesome person and got a killer story, as well as another woman SWAT team officer, and now she's a lawyer. I mean, just total growth mindset people in the last two podcasts that I've done. And then um, just doing workouts, with Naval Academy kids and local um, guys that have been getting after it as well. It's been tough though. I mean, it has been really hot and humid, dropping 5, 6 pounds every workout, seems like. And it requires a significant amount of hydration and rehydration at the end of the day, throughout the rest of the day, even. Um, well over a gallon of water, but then also when you're sweating that much, you got to also remember your electrolytes because it is it's life or death situation, really. I mean, if you don't start getting electrolytes, you're going to start cramping first. You'll start your body just starts shutting down. You can't produce any more sweat because you've sweated all out, and now you just get overheated. And next thing you know, just a mild workout in the heat has turned into heat exhaustion or heat stroke, and just it just gets bad from there. So what do? I have electrolytes in my car, whether it's like Propel bottles of water with some electrolytes in it, or the actual little electrolyte packets that you pour into bottles of water. Those are really good. I use a brand called Drip Drop, really good. Pedialyte as well. Put those in there, and we just keep moving. If you keep putting the water and electrolytes in, you're good. And then you have to also remember half of your fatigue is body heat. So if you can find ways to cool yourself down throughout a hot period of the day, you'll get a second win, whether that is just jump in a pool for a second, put your stuff back on and get back to it. Dump cold water bottles on your head. All of those little things do help with just keeping you a little bit cooler. And it's important right now during the heat of the summer, um, because it's harsh. It's harsh, definitely. At least in the upper hemisphere. Um, for you guys down in the southern hemisphere, it's dead of winter for you guys. Um, so, always thought that was kind of a neat thing that occurs on the earth. All right. So, uh, just taking questions if you guys have any. If you don't have any, I will go and share my screen and we do some videos, just looking at some combat swimmer stroke stuff. Richard from UK says hello. Bailey asks, how do I report a drug dealer in the neighborhood? I haven't had that experience, but you do it very carefully. I don't know. I mean, I guess if I had a drug dealer in my neighborhood, I would talk to my local police officers. But I'm also well armed at my own home, so if anything were to happen, I'm not too concerned about my safety as long as I was home. Oh no, that's a tough one. I'd talk to a friend or talk to a police officer nearby. See what you guys can do. Let's see. Do I work with Navy diver wannabes? Yes, I work with all wannabes. That is my whole thing that I do. If you're a wannabe, term is a unique term for it, but if you want to be in the military and law enforcement and firefighters, or special ops, any job that is service job, whether you're a first responder or you're joining the military, that's what I do. I train people who want to serve because there's two things that you have to do if you want to serve in a specific job. You have to get to the training by crushing a PT test, and you have to get through the training by preparing yourself for some of those challenges that you're about to face, whether that is through a boot camp, an academy, or selection program that you have to endure. And some of that requires um, a significant amount of preparation to do that. Do I notice a difference between athleticism from other SOF units in the Navy? No, I've seen great athletes that were dental techs. They just chose to be working on teeth instead of spec ops guys. But I've also seen, high levels of fitness in all of the spec ops units. Or is there one particular one that stands out? No, as far as a group, because everybody's group has a spectrum of fitness, no matter where you are. If you're at the SEAL teams, you have the guys that are just hard charging, killing fitness more than anybody else on the team. And that goes for any team. You have guys that are above average. If you were compare them to the regular military world, but compared to the spectrum that's at that team, it's night and day. It's almost kind of like when you go to a pro football team, you have guys that are on the team, but then you also have guys that are all pro and all stars, right? So there's a spectrum out there. Let's just call it that. Let's see. Hey, Midge, I'm sorry. This really isn't what I do. I don't really. Yes, I put in an anonymous tip, but unless you want drugs to grow in your neighborhood, I would try to do something about it. All right. Sorry, this is a fitness report, tactical fitness report. Right. Hope that helps, but that's all I really have on that one. Okay, so what's up? I'm 15, training to be a SEAL. What can I do to increase my glide from my scissor kicks? Get better streamlined. That is how you fix your glide. You need to be in a better streamlined position. Go to YouTube and search streamlined swimming position. I've actually written an article on it called Streamlined Position, the number one most important part of your swimming, and get stronger scissor kicks. But at 15, to be honest with you, I didn't know what Navy SEALs were at 15. Go play some sports, get good at sports, get strong, be a good team player. Don't just solely focus on SEAL stuff. You got a lot to learn at 15 that you can get from any sport activity, any team activity, academics, languages, all of those things come into play. All right. So, hey, Bob at 57, 27 plus miles in the pool this summer. Nice. That's good. So, how do I start stretching routine, as stretching has always been an afterthought? You know what I would do? I would start stretching if it's an afterthought, but you still exercise pretty often. My suggestion um, is to sorry, I'm reading some comments here at the same time as I'm thinking. Is do it when you're done. So after you've done your swim workout, just stay in the water and start jogging, right? Jog in place, stretch out, do some dynamic stretching, chest deep, um, chest deep water, do all the dynamic stretches you can think of. And that's a good place to start. That way you're not going to hurt yourself because you're doing any static stretching cold. Always warm up, get nice and heated up before you do any stretching. But dynamic stretching is a good way to warm up for a workout altogether. So, but But check out the terms dynamic stretching and static stretching, and just start adding some that you like. I don't really do a whole lot of them. I probably have at least 10 go-to dynamic, static, or dynamic stretching movements that I like to do, whether it's on ground or in chest deep water. And then I have at least a dozen yoga based stretching exercises that I like to do that I actually did today. Today is my mobility day, where all I did was do 5 minutes of non impact cardio, followed by 5 minutes of stretching. And that started off from my feet and ankles and shins and calves. Then I did 5 minutes of non impact cardio again. And then I worked calves and hamstrings and thighs. I did 5 minutes of cardio again. Then I did hips and lower back, a little bit more thigh, and then just did a whole body routine of stretching after that, after another 5 to 10 minutes of non impact cardio. And that is what I do on my stretching day. So, or mobility day. But I have a whole program on it if you're interested at it. All right, let's see. Okay, so I do see Midge was trying to help out Bailey there. Sorry about that, Midge. Let's see. Do another one. What should I do when I can't do these big supersets because of a full gym? You should break them apart. Add some common sense. And if you can't do a 5 or 6 exercise circuit, break it into 2 exercises and do them 2 at a time. Just as long at the end of the day you've gotten the circuit done, you're good to go. Any tips for better freestyle stroke? I'm not a freestyle stroke teacher. I personally use freestyle with my guys just to get tired, because nobody is tested in freestyle when you're going through a spec ops program. At least in the Navy, freestyle can be used for rescue swimming and PJs and a few others out there. But for the most part, it's all side or combat swimmer stroke. So we use freestyle just to get in shape because it's harder. We get a little more winded out of it. But my suggestion is search freestyle catch, and that's going to help you with a majority of the pulling of your arms, which is where most people screw up, and the turning of your head versus the popping up of your head. And then all the rest is just little flutter kicks. But yeah, check out YouTube videos on freestyle coaching. There are people much better at coaching freestyle than I am out there, and I get my tips from those guys, to be honest with you. One of the best coaches I've ever seen is Terry Laughlin, who's recently passed away, but he has a swimming program. Damn, why is I'm brain dumping right now? I'll think of it in a minute what that swim program is. But anyway, Google it, freestyle catch. That should help you. Okay. All right. So, okay, you're welcome there. Glad you liked the past test workout. Tom says he's completed the Tactical Fitness Over 40. This is the first one, rebuilding the foundation as a recovery program. Nice. Built some muscle. Some workouts pretty intense at times. What are your thoughts of repeat the building book or take it to the next level? Some of those pyramids seem pretty intense. I am 40 plus 17. Good point. You know what? No book is a personalized program for anybody. So my suggestion is personalize it for you. So if you see a pyramid that obviously you can't get up all the way to 10, just go up to 6 or whatever number that you start to fail, and then go back down. And then you can use that pyramid as an assessment tool for your growth and performance increases. Because one week you might do 6, next week you might do 8, and Week after that, you might get 9. Eventually, you're going to get a 1-10-1 pyramid. You just got to put in the time practicing it. So it's kind of up to you. If you feel that 40, that rebuilding program, phase 1 of tactical fitness over 40 is started off a little too easy, you might beef it up a little bit, or you could go to the next level, part 2 of that 4-part series, and tone it down a little bit if you need to. So, and then do it again, and you may not have to make any adjustments to make it easier. So that's another way a lot of people do it. A lot of people will go through one of my programs and have to make it easier because it's a little more challenging than they thought it would be, because it looks easy on paper. And then they do it again and they find that they're able to hit all the numbers without making alterations to it. So that would be probably what I would recommend. Best fitness product under 150 bucks. It's a good question. I don't know how much TRXs cost these days, but I would say I'd just get a TRX or a really good sandbag or weight vest or all three if you can figure out a way to do that. I would go on eBay with a budget of 150 bucks and see what you can find. I bet you can find a sandbag or make your own. I bet you could find a used TRX somebody's trying to sell, and I know you can get a weight vest for like 50 bucks. That's decent. So it's a good question, though. I mean, you can do a lot with all three of those things. Unfortunately, buying dumbbells these days is crazy expensive. I mean, it's doubled in the last few years, just probably because of COVID and everybody's buying up dumbbells for their home gym. Right. All right. Richard says, I'm an injured vet, banned from running and cycling. Ouch. Have a C-spine injury. Damn. Sorry. Do you have any advice? I was a triathlete before. Now, 5 years later, the weight has piled on. Yeah, you know what? It's going to be mostly diet for you, Richard. But then if you can find another non-impact cardio activity that's safe, for me, obviously, if you're a triathlete, I would spend all my time in the water, whether that is swimming or it's running in the water, wearing one of those belts and jogging, or treading water. Treading water is fantastic, actually. I've seen a guy drop like 50 pounds just by treading water. He'd go in the pool, plop in the water, and he was obese at the time, and he'd just float. Didn't even have to do anything and just float there. But he just kept moving. He moved his arms, moved his legs, and twisted and kicked and for an hour. And next thing you know, I'm looking at the guy getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and he stayed consistent with it. And that guy dropped over 50 pounds. Now, it took about a year of him to do that, but hey, man, that's great progress. So and it was really safe. He couldn't run either. But I would try to get in the water if you can. That would be my cardio advice for you. But with your injuries, you definitely want to talk to a physical therapist or doctor, just and just double check any type of programming that you're going to get on, especially if it has to do with resistance training. But some safe TRX or rubber band type movements would be a good place to start on that one, I would say. Okay, let's see. Colby says, wish I would have found your information on how to progressively increase running distances safely before I jumped into 20 miles per week. Yeah, that will do it. Yeah, Colby, sorry about that. Yeah, you got to definitely logically progress with these things. And that goes for anything in fitness. I mean, you can't just jump into, a marathon running program on week 20 and expect not to get hurt, right? Just people do that all the time. believe it or not, um, where they should have taken 20 weeks to get to that point, is what I'm saying. So, yeah, typically the progression for running is 10 to 15% a week. And if you're starting out at 0, right, you have to be really careful on how you start. You can't start back up on where you left off months or years before, or ever if you've never started before. So you may want to start off with just running every other day, with some non-impact cardio on the days in between, and just doing a mile a day. So, or maybe do it by time. That might even be easier at first. Just go 10 minutes a day of running. See if you can run nonstop for 10 minutes. If you have to, walk a little bit for that time. And that's it. Don't try to do too much. And then the next week you add 15% to that. 15% to that. So add another, 2 minutes or a minute and a half, to that each week. And next thing you know, in a month, you've actually increased to a significant amount of time per day, and distance. But it's done progressively. Yeah, total immersion. Sorry, man, couldn't believe I forgot Terry's program. Total immersion. Absolutely. You will learn how to swim freestyle if you follow that total immersion program. He and I did a video together a while back ago, and it was on the CSS. He may still sell it, or maybe he gives it away by now. I quit selling it a long time ago. Just started posting videos of it online. Let's see, going through the calisthenics and cardio app and love it. Oh, good. Yeah, I had a guy make an app of that. It's a great ebook program as well. Wonder if it would be able to split up the workout and do it in 2 sessions. Absolutely. I absolutely have to split up my workouts these days, mainly due to just pool availability. We usually get our workouts done first thing in the morning, where it's calisthenics and running, sometimes lifting and a little bit of running, but the pool's not open right after that. So we save it until lunch to go swimming. But yeah, I've had a lot of guys really crush PT tests and even the PST, because they're swimming in this one, the calisthenics and cardio workout. Have guys really crush the PST in a relatively short period of time. And this workout requires little to no equipment whatsoever. There's a dude that got, dropped 2 minutes on his swim, dropped at least a minute and a half, almost 2 minutes on his mile and a half, and then almost doubled his sit-ups. Push-ups went from like 60 to 90. I mean, it was crazy, 10 to 15 or 16 pull-ups. I can't remember, but that works. That program works, and it doesn't require a whole lot of equipment. So calisthenics and cardio, check it out. All right, so let's see what Ryan says. I have a 812 swim, excellent. 83 push-ups, 79 sit-ups, 22 pull-ups, 942 run. What would you say my next step would be? You know what? You want to get that run a little better, and I would do 2 things first. I would test your mile and a half fresh, just to see where your mile and a half is, not at the end of a PST, because typically we're about 40 seconds faster, 30 to 40 seconds faster fresh than at the end of a PST. So you can count on the swim and the pull-ups and the push-ups and the sit-ups to slow your mile and a half down a little bit. But you're going to want to get in better shape so you can get that run time down closer to where it is fresh. So my advice is check out this article I wrote called the PST Clinic and see if that helps you with anything there, because it breaks down the PST in a way for you to optimize each event. And it's a strategy. It's not tips and tricks to pass something. This is a strategy that has worked for many people. So instead of thinking of the swim, push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, run as 5 events, what I do is I break it down into 22 different assessment points, such as 50-yard swim sets. Like, what are my times each 50 yards? What are my times each 30 seconds of a push-up and sit-up test? Really focus on my pace. What are my times on each quarter mile of a 1.5 mile run? So I know where my pace is dropping off. And then that tells you a whole lot about how you need to start training and figuring out your intensity so you get a little bit better on that. So my suggestion is go to that first. Take your run fresh just to see where you are, and then realize that you have some conditioning and strategy work to do on that PST. And then with scores like that, I would say you're pretty good. I would go through the full assessment tool that I have on my site, and I'll put links to this in the YouTube video description here. And I think it's called Assessment Tool to get you through to and through selection. And it just has some weights in there, and it just helps you understand you need to have some strength going in. You need to have PST scores. You need to have 4-mile timed runs and 2-mile swims with fins, just to figure out, one, you're getting to the training pretty well already, but are you ready to get through the training? And then I would focus on some of those weaknesses that you may have, whether it's a strength weakness, whether it's longer cardio weakness, which it may be, and then get on one of the programs for that. Like 12 Weeks of Buds is a good one. Navy SEAL Phase 2 and 3 is a good one. Increase Strength and Crush the PST program is a good one. I'll put links to these in the thing below, but you can see all of those at stewsmithfitness.com if you want to check those out. But hope that helps you there, Ryan. Kind of a long answer. Any other questions? Because I'm going to go to sharing a video here real quick. I may have done this one before. I just can't remember. But we'll talk about it anyway. I think this was a pretty good video last I recall. All right, so let me share my screen. Share screen. Where are you? All right, so we'll go here. See what. Boom! How's this? Can you guys see that? Let me know if you can see it. You guys see that better now? All right, so I'm just going to put it here. Good. Looks like you guys can see this now. Okay, so anyway, you guys heard what I was saying before. He has no glide. Good glide off the wall, but no glide in between the strokes. He should be gliding here. Right here. Right, and he's not. Can't hold the glide, not even for a split second. So sorry about that little confusion there. I thought I had it all set up. But he's got a good left side and right side. This is something he does on the way back. He changes sides, I think. Yeah, changes sides. So he's got a good left, good right. He just doesn't glide. And this is a lot of energy being wasted when you could hold each glide for another 2 seconds and still be moving at 1 yard per second. So SEALs and tech don't mix. Haha. It's called being human. All right. Let's see. Let's try another one, shall we? Let's do, thought I had some sent to me this week. We'll see. I can't remember when this was sent. I think this was sent this week. All right, so let me know if you guys can see this. Make sure I do it correctly. Looks like I can. All right, here we go. All right, so this guy kicks off the wall. Looks like he's wearing UDT shorts. That's pretty funny. All right, so he kicks off the wall. Now, the one thing you're going to want to do is when you kick off the wall is make sure you're under the water, because all of that right there, even though he he pushes off. It's just plowing the water and just like swimming with the brakes on. So get yourself underwater, even your feet. Decent pull out. Let's see, top arm, bottom arm, kick and glide, hold the glide. Pretty good. See, now he's holding the glide pretty far. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. He's doing just the opposite. He's holding the glide too long because I usually pull on 3. He should be 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, pull. Let's do it on the way back here. Let's figure this out. So, yeah, top arm, bottom arm, kick, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, pull. So he loses momentum. So the other guy wastes momentum and just keeps on moving really fast, which is really hard to maintain. This guy loses momentum and loses speed and gains a lot of time every stroke. Because you can see he's almost stopped before he does the next stroke. Whereas the other guy, he was still in the middle of his, could have glided at that speed for another yard or two before he had to pull. So this is a good, this is actually a pretty good, what's a good, too hot, too cold. We need somebody who's warm right in the middle. Because he's just over gliding. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. Jesus. Yeah, pull on 3. Yeah, that's gliding is too long. So, did you guys see that? That was a really good kind of like left and right end of the spectrum. You got to try to find something right in the middle. So most people don't glide enough, and they're just like killing the killing all your energy to maintain that pace. Is just a lot of high RPMs. You're going to get a lot of strokes out of that every length. Where the other guy on the left, not many strokes, but he was losing momentum every stroke, and he had to recreate that every stroke. So regardless, both of them get you kind of tired, just a little bit differently. But yeah, the Goldilocks stroke. Yeah, you got to be right in the middle. That's a good way of putting it. I could show you, I might be able to show you one of mine. In fact, I'm going to do, where'd I put that one? It's on my phone. That's a shame. See if I can find it real quick. So I had a really good one of me. I mean, I may have it on my, I bet I can find it real quick. It won't take but a second. So if you guys got any more questions, go ahead and ask, and I will find this video real quick for you. You guys have probably seen it. It's on my Instagram page. I know what it looks like from sharing it so many times. Almost there. Just got to go back a few months of Instagram posts. But if you really want to see some good videos of swimming, you definitely want to go to my Instagram page, because I do a lot of critiquing over there. So Chrome tab, here we go. Let's see if you guys can see this. You guys see this? All right. Yeah, it looks like it. So this is me doing this the other day. So there's the double arm pull, kickoff, transition. Now watch this. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, pull. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, pull. There you go. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, pull. So, I'm not perfect at this, but this is pretty streamlined. I think this came out to like just under an 8-minute pace. It looks slow, but this is constant movement at about a yard per second. And you can definitely learn to maintain this pace really easily. And, you do the stroke count. It's only about 5 strokes to get across the pool. That's a little dolphin kick, double arm pull, come up real tight on the recovery. There you go. So that's on my Instagram page. Right. Let's see if I can some reason I can't unshare this. There we go. I'm back. All right. So anyway, hopefully that gave you a good Goldilocks version of it, and just right on pull right on 3. So in fact, I wrote an article called "Pull, Breathe, Kick, Glide, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, Pull." Right? You got to check that one out. That's the title of the article. So pull, breathe, kick, glide, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, pull. Works really well. So that's the Goldilocks stroke cadence. Okay, so let me see here. Last question. Then I got to go. Good morning, law enforcement. Looking for some functional workouts than what I have been doing. Maximum Fitness a good start, or would you have a different recommendation? You know what? Maximum Fitness is a 52-week program. It has a calisthenics only section. It has a build up in the next, which is a really good, more advanced calisthenics cardio section, and then the fall and winter starts transitioning into weight. So this is one of my first cycles of what I call seasonal tactical fitness periodization. So it's a 52-week program. It is a good one. I have done better as I have evolved. I would say tactical fitness is a really good newer version of this. Tactical strength, if you want to focus more on your strength, that's basically our fall winter lift cycle we did one year. And then here's a fun one too that we've done. We got the spring and summer and the fall and winter lift cycle program, and then we also have increased strength and crush the PST pass test. That's also my latest winter lift cycle, where I was really shocked. We changed it up, and instead of having like a 12-week lift cycle, which we've done for years, I've done it for 20 years that way. And when we needed a deload, we just downshifted a little bit and took a deload week. However, this version of it did the same style of strength training. We'd warm up with calisthenics, so we'd maintain our calisthenics, but then we'd do some strength training. Then we would do a little bit of cardio as a cool down, work on some speed a little bit, but nothing crazy. Mileage was dropped. We just focused really on strength. So at the 4th week, we took a week off of strength training and did PST training. So it was all calisthenics and cardio for a week. So that was kind of our deload. We just shifted gears in our deload versus taking completely the time off. And if you understand what deloads are, really deloads are just shifts. So some people take time off and do very little, maybe some mobility work and some stretching, maybe some light cardio instead of a strength training cycle or whatever. But we just decided, let's change gears and go to a week of PST training. We did that for 16 weeks, and that's what this program is. And everybody, to the person, got stronger, and they also had PRs on their PST or pass test. We had a few Air Force guys, and I was amazed at the difference, because usually we just kind of stay flat on the running and swimming. It's just more of a placeholder to maintain. But this was a cycle where people got stronger in their lifts, as well as got faster on their runs, had a few PRs on the runs and swims. And they also improved on their reps of their calisthenics tests. So all in all, it worked really well to do like a 3-to-1 block periodization cycle. So next strength training cycle you do, try it. You don't have to buy one of my books. Just try this. Try 3 weeks of strength, followed by 1 week of PST type training, just calisthenics and cardio. Do that for 12 weeks and just let me know how it goes, because it worked really well for my guys who were heading out to Buds this year. So there you go. So it looks like there's one more question real quick question. I'll take it from Gregorius. Do I use the CSS and C change the technique at all? Yes. It is called the CSS with scuba fins. So there's two types of swimming. Without fins, it's going to be a lot different. You're going to do that mainly in a pool. So you can use the walls to kick off and to glide and all that stuff. But in the ocean, it's a little bit different. You have a pair of fins on, because sometimes you're fighting currents, fighting waves, all those things. You got to swim straight. So there's some differences when you're swimming in the open water, and you want to use fins for it. So basically, the biggest difference is you're still going to do the pull, the breathe, and when you kick, it's just constant kicking. You're just going to be constantly doing some flutter kicks while you do that, and you really use your arms for when you need to breathe. So you hold out this position, kind of laid out on your side, maybe not flat like this, but maybe a quarter turn like this. So you're a little bit swimming like this, just kicking away. And whenever you need to breathe, use your hands. So, and you'll find that usually it's like kick, 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 stroke to breathe, kick, 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 stroke to breathe. And that's the difference. But I have some videos of it, not only on this YouTube channel, but as well as on my Instagram page too. So with that, I will sign off. And if you guys have any other questions, just send them to me. If I didn't answer your question, just email me, stu@stusmith.com. Happy to answer them. You guys give me ideas to write articles. So I do appreciate your questions. Also, if you were here and you're still here today, if you go to stusmithfitness.com, you can save 20% on any of those books and programs that I mentioned earlier, and just use the Compete 20 code and save 20%. So, all right, folks, happy Thursday. I will chat with you guys later. If you got any questions, please send them. Check the description of this video in about an hour, and I'll have links to everything that I just mentioned as well. So until next time, I will see you later.